Hello and welcome to Design Boss Dialogue, the podcast where bold and ambitious women in interior design come for real conversations to transform and take their businesses to new heights. I am your host, Lisa Marie El-Khadraoui, interior designer and business mentor, here to share my experiences and insights into running an interior design business, as well as empowering you to build the confident, profitable design business you've been dreaming of and truly deserve. In this space, we blend creativity with strategy to help you craft your success and thrive in the world of design. Every episode is packed with unfiltered, no BS conversations, daily inspiration, and actionable business tips to turn your passion into a thriving, cash-rich business. Together, we're redefining what it means to succeed in the interior design industry, one intentional, game-changing decision at a time. So get ready to step up, elevate, and create the design empire you've always envisioned. Welcome, Natalie, to today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome. Hello.
Hello. So today, we're going to be talking about a plethora of topics around email marketing and everything that can bring to the table. Now, I know as an interior designer myself and as a business coach and mentor to interior designers, I get a lot of interior designers when they first start out with me asking, I want to grow an email newsletter list. I want to build a community, but I struggle beyond posting just pretty pictures. How do I build trust and drive that consistent engagement to build that community? What would your advice be around that?
Okay, that's a big question.
It's a big one. We're going in with big guns.
Okay, so it's literally, I haven't got an email list. How do I even start? So we'll cover that first, and then ways to kind of engage people after that. So yes, if you have no email list at all at the moment, hopefully the number one step you will have is that you will have a business email. You cannot send regular emails to people from a Gmail, an Outlook, or anything like that. So if you haven't got a business email address, that's your number one thing. Number two thing is if you haven't got an all-in-one system and you've perhaps just got a website, then you'll need an email marketing service provider. Now, you might not have heard of that term, but you may well have heard of things called MailChimp, Flowdesk, ConvertKit as it was, it's now called Kit, those sort of things. They are email service providers, and they make sure basically that you're following all the rules. So we have rules that we need to follow, like GDPR. We're not going to go into that today, but look it up if you don't know what it is. But we need to make sure we cover those kind of things. We need to make sure that we're giving our emails the best opportunity to get delivered to the people that are on our list as well. So having an email service provider is the kind of the first thing to do. Now you can have these for free. Often a lot of them will charge you based on how many subscribers you have, but some don't. You're probably looking at about £10-15 a month if you go over the free levels, or if you want to start doing automations and things like that. But you can definitely start with some of these with a free account. So how do you grow? How do you grow that list? It's all very well going, yeah, I've got an email list. Now what? So lots of things that you can do. But first of all, tell people about it. And the number one thing that most people don't tell people enough. We all think that when we're launching something or selling something, and we've mentioned it a million times, that everyone will have heard of it and they'll be as sick about it as you will. Absolutely not. Most people won't catch it. And so you just need to, you need to share it. So that's my number one thing. But number two is get yourself a lead magnet, a freebie, an opt-in, whatever you want to call it. It's something that you can give somebody of value that solves one particular problem that they have, that is useful, that you give away for free in exchange for their email. So it could be a checklist, it could be some before and afters, it could be my top 10 tips for this particular style. It could be anything. Doesn't need to be 120 pages or a 1 hour masterclass. It can be, but it shouldn't be. It should be something very, very simple. One person, one problem, one solution. And again, share it. And more on everything. We could go through every platform that you have. I've got I've got a freebie, a lead magnet. There's 100 ways to grow your email list, and that doesn't even cover all of them. So there's
I love
plenty.
that.
There is plenty of ways, from your social platforms to your website to things you can do in person, all sorts of things. And I'll give the link to Lisa, and she'll share that with you to save us
We'll put
kind
that
of
in the show notes.
going over that. So so there's lots of places you can do. So you need to optimize where you share that. So you've then got people coming on your list. Oh my God, what do we do next? Well, my top tips are, first of all, consistency. I'm sure Lisa has said this about everything that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Consistency. That doesn't mean constantly. It just means consistency, and that's going to look different to everybody. The absolute minimum, I would say, that you email your list is once a month. That's only 12 times in 365 days. So that's not very often, and people will have forgotten about you a month later. But do that rather than do nothing. So start there. So rather than sit there and go, right, I'm going to email my list every day. No, we don't start there. We start with something simple and kind of work backwards. In an ideal world, I would say that you should be emailing your list once a week. And you might sit there, and I know a lot of people go, oh, but I don't want to seem pushy. Once a week sounds a lot. I can guarantee you, if you look in your own email inbox, you will have emails maybe even a few times a day from a particular company, whether it's Amazon, whether it's a shoe company, a cosmetic company, or Netflix, or whatever it is. These people are emailing you every day, if not more than that, and you haven't unsubscribed. So
yes, of course.
And this is it. And so we just kind of need to get over that. But I don't want to sound pushy. You're not being pushy if you're giving value and educating people. And that's the biggest thing. Do not just email your list when you're trying to sell something. You want your list to go, oh, look, it's Lisa in my inbox. I wonder what exciting, juicy information she's got to share with me this week, because I know that she shares value and she educates me within, so for example, obviously for Lisa and for a lot of you listening, it's interior design. So me as a consumer, I don't know a lot about interior design. So I would love to find, little tips and tricks and little bits in my inbox that I go, oh, I never knew that. Or the latest on trend things and where to buy them, and perhaps links or whatever it is, or whatever is trending at that time. I'd love to hear that. She's not going to be emailing me every single week going, buy this, buy this, buy this, book an appointment, come and see me, like that. You need to make sure that consistent, educational, giving value. Make people open your email because they know you're not selling to them every single time. So that's one of the first big rules. And there's lots of things you can do, and perhaps we'll talk about it a bit later, about some of the other ideas that you could do. But that's it in a nutshell. Educate and value, give value to people, and they will open your email addresses. Your email, sorry. And so then again, how do you engage with them? There's various things you can do. So one can be just a hit reply and let me know what you thought of this. Hit reply and tell me what you're struggling with. Hit reply and ask me a question. I'm going to do a Q&A in my next week's email or next month's emails. And you get those questions in, and you might answer one of those questions every week. So if 4 people reply, you've got a whole month's worth of emails to do. Because what I recommend you do, rather than doing once a month and it being 10 pages long, do once a week and keep them short. Keep them short and punchy. People will only scroll so much before they go, really? Are we still going? Whereas short, punchy, a page kind of long tops, a few paragraphs with something that's really, say, of value, and something interesting is like, oh, marvellous, okay, thanks very much. Or it could be a link to a particular product or a trend or whatever. You may have Pinterest boards that you are linking to, that you are building to share with clients. And it could be that one month you are sharing I'm not very good. I'm not very good at interior design, but a theme,
Don't worry.
whatever a theme is that maybe is trending at the moment, maybe it's animal print. Let's do that. And
Oh,
you could
yes.
spend a whole month talking about different animal prints. We could have leopard print one week, zebra print the next, and obviously giving some education on that and why we should use it and what the rules are for using it and things like that. So it could be, again, let me have your animal print questions, or have you seen something and you don't know where to find it? Again, it could be all sorts of things, but asking questions will get people replying, and they do reply. So, I mean, if you've got 500 on your list, you're unlikely to get 500 replies, but you will get people engaging with your email list because you're including them, you're sharing top tips, being of value, and you're asking for their input as well so that you can help them. So it could be something like that. You could have something that you do. I know Lisa does a 12 podcasts of Christmas.
Yeah.
Lots of
Advent
people,
calendar.
there you go, the advent calendar kind of thing. Lots of people will do my 10 days of, my 5 days of, something like that. If you were to share something like my 5 days to animal print, we're going to go with this theme here, aren't we?
Yeah. We love an animal print.
my 5 days to animal print, and but people have to be on your email list to get that. You're not sharing it on socials, you're not sharing it anywhere else. The only place they can get it is your email list.
I like that, because I was thinking, as you were saying that, I was thinking about kind of cross-purposing information. So, if you're doing something over on social media, can you then double up in your email list? But actually keeping your email list a little bit more exclusive, so you could drip feed and share something on your socials, but say you've got to sign up for my newsletter to get the full series. That also is a really good way to kind of get people onto your nurtured community list.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything else that you're using out there in the world, you can tease, you can share, or you can share a bit of. Maybe you share day one, but you go, oh, for the rest of it, you need to come on my email list, because we have to get people off our social media following. It's all very great having a lovely, perfectly looking Instagram grid. And if you've got 5,000 people on there and you've got nobody on an email list, what happens when your account vanishes tomorrow?
I know. And this is something that I have often thought about and been so scared about, that these, a lot of people run their lives and businesses on social media. We are one of them, where we don't have a website, we run the business through social media. Well, actually, I haven't bought that social media. What if it gets taken down in the morning? Yes, I've got an
Absolutely.
email list, but my social media following is so much more higher than my email newsletter list.
Yes, exactly. That's a massive point.
Yeah, it's a big
Because
thing.
I've had my Facebook page deleted twice. I
Oh,
didn't get it back the second time. I know people who have lost Instagram accounts overnight. I know a big corporate company with 250,000 followers who got blackmailed and didn't pay the blackmail and had to start from scratch. And 2 years later, I say only 50,000. That's a lot of people on Instagram, but a fifth of what they had 2 years after they got blackmailed. Because you're building, to give it an interior design term, you're building on someone else's foundations, someone else's land. It can vanish overnight, and it does. So don't be under any disillusion that you won't lose your accounts tomorrow, because you absolutely can, and for no reason at all.
yeah, exactly. And I think if you had that newsletter list, realistically, that close community that is choosing to be there, you can very easily then pick up the pieces, and you've got them there,
Yeah.
and they're ready to go, rather than losing
No,
everyone.
absolutely. So one of the golden rules of an email list is that you do back up your list, because absolutely you could turn around to me and go, yes, but my email service provider could vanish overnight as well. And yeah, absolutely, they could. But you will be downloading your list frequently. Now, when I say frequently, it depends on how many people are adding to your list. If you've got 100 people adding to your list every day, then you're going to download it once a week. If you've got 30 to 50 a month, then you're going to do it once a month. But it just means that if it does vanish tomorrow, then you have a list that you've got hold of. How are you going to contact all your Instagram followers when your Instagram account vanishes tomorrow?
Exactly.
You're not.
Yeah.
But I mean, to also give you some other stats as well. So the average on your social media, 3 to 4% of your followers see your posts.
Yeah. And this is a
3
big
to
one.
4%. Yeah,
Yeah, this
exactly.
is a
If
big
you've got
one.
1,000, it's 30 to 40 people that are seeing it. If you've got
Mm.
1,000 on an email list, 200 to 700 people see your email.
See, and
Now
that's such a
tell
big
me what.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah, now tell me why you're posting on social media and not growing an email list.
Yeah.
Because they're the facts. They're out in the big wide world. You can go and view those. They're not things I've made up to make email marketing sound glamorous. It's absolutely the facts. And as I say, it can vanish overnight. And the amount of people that view emails compared to social media is just ridiculously different. So if you've only got half an hour, you should be growing your email list and engaging consistently your email list rather than doing another reel showing another sexy photo. Well, not that kind of sexy. Interior
Yeah.
design sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. A nice sofa with some delicious cushions and a throw on.
Exactly. That's it. If you are restricted on time, should be email all the way. All the way.
Okay. That's really interesting, because a lot of people would naturally go to social media before they go to email. And actually, the power of email marketing is phenomenal, because
Mm.
if you can grow an engaged community that are willing and ready and listening, when you do come to launch a particular service or something that you're doing, they're 9 times out of 10 warm and ready to buy as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
They're there.
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. So in terms of material, we were talking about this before we came on, the power of kind of, obviously, interior designers are extremely visual creatures. We love a
Absolutely.
creative photo, and 9 times out of 10, you'll find us living on Pinterest all the time. So,
I love Pinterest.
oh, it is literally the best. Um, Give me a couple of words of wisdom or advice for the power of intertwining potentially Pinterest and email marketing, or any other useful things that interior designers could use.
Okay, well, I'm a firm believer in one subject. Now, whether that subject is a month-long subject, like we talked, animal print, for example,
Yeah,
we go back to
yeah,
animal print. So in August, we're going to talk animal print, and everything that I'm sharing on my socials, on my Pinterest, on my emails, everything should be about animal print that month. Now, it might be that you're leading to a course or something
right.
that you sell, or perhaps a paid PDF that is sharing more information about animal print that you're leading to. And yeah, so everything is there. And my kind of way of working is that I start with a blog post. So blog posts are perfect to coordinate with Pinterest, and something you should be doing. If you have a website, it helps with your SEO. It helps Google people find you through Google. You have to use keywords. It's a whole nother conversation about how to get keywords used in Pinterest and on your website. But it's include what people are searching for. So what am I going to be searching for? How can I incorporate zebra print cushions into my front room, for example?
Yeah,
So pick up those keywords. They're going to be on your website. They're going to be all over that blog post. Then that blog post, you're going to share it in your newsletter. So when you sit there and say, I don't know what to share, you're going to share it in your newsletter. You're not going to do it word for word. You're not going to copy and paste it into a newsletter. You're going to summarize it, and then you're going to direct your newsletter to your whole blog post. Now, within that blog post, you might have lots of other pictures in there and all your creative shared there. You might also have other ways that, so again, we're going to be directing traffic to that blog post as well for people who aren't on your email list. So within that blog post, you're going to have ways where people can sign up for your email list because they found this blog post because they've been searching zebra cushions, and then you're going to present them with the opportunity to sign up for your email list there. But then, so we've done blogs, We've then turned it into a newsletter. So that's your content, your constant content, sorry, not constant, consistent
Content.
content for your newsletter. So when you say, I don't know what to post, it's whatever the theme is that month, that week, whatever it is. It's whatever your blog post is. And, don't get me wrong, ChatGPT is a great starter for you to get ideas from. They can even write these blog posts for you, but please don't just copy and paste ChatGPT, because everyone now knows what they look like and all that. But you can definitely edit it. You can definitely put your own tweaks into it. You can definitely use the skeleton of it as your blog post, but you certainly need to personalize it with the keywords that you want to be found for, and things like that. But when you kind of sit there and go, I just can't write, I don't know what to write, use ChatGPT, especially for those ideas. So then you've done blog post, we've done newsletter, then we're over to Pinterest. We are doing how many pins to how many boards, directing people back to this blog post, directing people. Obviously, you're going to be sharing your free lead magnet that you're doing, your checklist, your freebie, all over Pinterest as well. You're going to have pins leading to your email list. You're going to have posts and areas within your blog post where people can sign up for your email list as well. It's an omnipresent, that's the word, that seems to be the word of the year, an omnipresence, where you are basically, but you're doing the same thing. You're not going, right, I've got to do a blog post, now I've got to do a completely different newsletter, now I've got to do some pins that go somewhere else. They're all connected. It's just it's one piece of content broken down into various things. So Lisa might do, for example, based on a podcast. It doesn't have to be a blog post. If you have a podcast and you do a podcast, the podcast could be the long form content. It could be that you do a long form video. So you might be doing a walkthrough of some interior designs you've finished. You might be talking through and videoing through what you've done. Maybe here's where the before and afters come from. So it's a good kind of 20 to 30-minute video that you're doing. That might be your long form content that you start with and break down into a blog post, into a newsletter, into pins and all that sort of thing. So it's a whole big ecosystem of how to grow your business and incorporate email list.
I really love that, because I think with a lot of designers, they feel that they need to reinvent the wheel every single time when it comes to content. And I'm always explaining, how about you take one thing and let's break it down into lots of different areas that you can repurpose it. So the fact that you were saying there about, okay, let's use leopard print as an example, that can go into a YouTube long form and short form content video. It can go into a blog. Those blogs get into pins that directs back to the newsletter. So it's almost creating this spiderweb ecosystem within the business of this month, we're focusing on this particular topic. There's going to be 4 tips around the topic, 1 released every week on the newsletter. The whole big blog will cover the whole thing. The pins will be out there directing to each of the 4 points. And it just becomes this lovely way to grow your email newsletter community.
Absolutely. Yeah, because everything will do it. Pinterest leads will go back to it. Bits in blog posts will go back to it. I mean, we can talk social media. We can talk Instagram and Facebook as well. You are allowed to share there too.
Okay, thank you.
But a lot of these, so YouTube, blogging, Pinterest, all long-term visibility strategies. So they're not a get out there and get results straight away. It is a long-term game, but it is one that lasts for years. Your Instagram stories and things, we all know they last 24 hours. And even a grid, people won't scroll much further down. So depending on how frequently you are posting there, they won't scroll further down there. I've got a graph kind of shows that, the average length of time a post on Instagram and Facebook lasts is 24 hours. On Pinterest, it's 5 years.
Yeah, which is
so when I say long term, it's long term.
Yeah. And I think it's also putting putting information out there that is going to last and stand the test of time, really, that people will consistently find it month after month after month. And we've even had content where people are finding it, a year or 2, 3 years later, and they're just
Absolutely.
constantly coming.
Yeah, and pins can go viral just like reels can. So pins can go viral and more than once. They can go viral when they first come out. They can go viral a year later, especially if it's seasonal. So if you're doing sort of a theme, so maybe you're doing Halloween decor, maybe you're doing Christmas decor, then every year off it goes again, because people are going to be looking at that for certain periods in the year as well.
Yeah,
So
an
yeah,
inspiration.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love this. My brain is expanding with the amount of things that I could implement into my business, but also the community. And I think from that, so we're building our ecosystem, and we're looking at ways where we're not just showcasing pretty pictures, but we're giving educational value. We're picking topics of the month, and that one thing can go across everything. But where have you found success in potentially the most impactful emails for building a successful community? So is it, if you're building a community, is it the first maybe 60 days or 30 days worth of emails? What could be in those particular emails? And obviously, if I'm covering old ground, say, but what advice would you give for someone that wants to really drive that first impactful email sequence from the welcome up to a nurture?
Yeah. No, well, that's the most important thing about your email list is I see so many people that go, "Oh, thanks very much for the freebie that you asked for. Here it is."
Yeah.
That's it, and that's it. And there's ways of optimizing that freebie as well to make sure it leads on to other things and does other things. But again, that's a conversation for another day.
Maybe we'll leave that for the Advent Calendar podcast.
Oh, maybe.
Keep them hanging on for series 2.
So yes, so that's not the way to do it. I mean, obviously they would be getting your, let's say weekly, because that's what we're going to be doing now, because we know what our content's going to be, and it's going to be easy to write and short to write. So yeah, they're going to be getting your weekly emails, but no, you absolutely need to. If someone's come across you, they have no idea who you are, what you know, why you're doing what you're doing, and basically why they should listen to you. Why do you know your stuff? And so it can be called a welcome sequence, it can be called a nurture sequence, it can be called all sorts of things, but it is a sequence of automated emails that go out as soon as someone has downloaded that freebie or added themselves to a list for that 5-day series that you're doing or something like that. So minimum it should be is 5 emails over 5 days, but they can be a year long. So if you have certain products or certain things, certain various things that you're selling, it can go on for that. But let's start with the basics. So obviously email 1 should be, here's your freebie that you asked for, thanks very much, with a couple of kind of highlighted points of this. You probably asked for 100 freebies. This is why you should actually download this one and read this or listen to this or watch this, whatever it is. So that's number 1. Number 2 then is to share a little bit about you and your story, because say they could have come across a pin, signed up and know nothing about you at all. So you want to share that you want them to start getting to know, like and trust you. So who are you? What's your story? Why are you doing what you're doing? What led you here? Number 3, a little bit more about, if you're an interior designer, maybe your style, your kind of thoughts, what you like, what you're known for, or your speciality, or anything like that shared in number 3. Again, still a little bit more, just kind of getting to know you. Number 4 is you've already told them how great you are. Now let's let somebody else tell them how great you are. So whether it's testimonials, whether it is a case study. So again, you must, unless you're brand new, you will have something where you kind of went, oh my goodness, I went into this kitchen, it was a complete mess, and this is what we did. So again, just talk through that, and it's again a testimonial from the client going, oh my God, it was a wonderful experience. It was so great. I'll use them again. That sort of thing. So somebody else basically shouting your praises. Now that could be 5 or 6 snippets of messages that you've had just on like WhatsApp or something like that. It can be an actual full-length case study based on whatever it is you're doing, depending on the kind of audience that you have. And then number 5, we start talking about, right, how can you make money from them? What have you got to offer? What are you looking to sell to them? Because really, your lead magnet should align with your end offer. So if your end offer is, interior design services, then your lead magnet obviously needs to be something that leads to that. Now, if your speciality is animal print within interior design, then your freebie is going to be something about animal print as well. It's not going to be the top 5 gadgets you should have in your kitchen. It's going to be something aligned with what your style, what you're offering, what your services are. Say it could be a course that you're selling, because you're going to do the top, a course on, oh, help me out here. What would you do? What an interior designer do a course on?
You would do a colour therapy course.
Oh, there we go. So yes, so we're going to talk about a colour therapy course. We're going to sell that colour therapy course. So what's the lead magnet going to be? Because the lead magnet needs to attract the ideal client for what you're ultimately looking to sell. And don't sit there and think, well, I can only have one and I've got to cover everything. You can have 20 if you really want to, because they appeal to different clients and they appeal to different services and products that you may have. So it all should be all aligned for you. So in email 5, you're going to sit there and go, oh, now you've read your colour therapy lead guide, and we've kind of given you some top tips, and you want to learn more. Here's a course you can learn about. Now, you can stop there and they can filter then into your weekly newsletter, and that should be the absolute minimum. If you do not have a case study or testimonials just yet, then so be it. Miss out number, email 4 until you do. Or give very vague testimonials from people that have worked with you and what it's like to work with you in a general form rather than specifics. But yeah, you can miss that one out until you've got that kind of case study or testimonial behind you. Now, as I say, that can be it, and that's what a lot of people will do, and that's where they'll stop. But let's say you have 5 different courses. They're all little courses, but they're all on various things. So this is called a funnel. It's just linking people together, drawing them along a customer journey. And so once they've kind of done that, if they haven't bought the colour therapy course, in a month's time, you may want to send them an email, because they're getting your regular weekly newsletters anyway. But you might want to send them in this sequence thought about you, colour therapy. This is the next step. It could be that you have a colour therapy too, maybe. And so you're going to carry on with that. Or it could just be that you have 5 different courses and you share them a month after another. It could be that if you're selling a subscription, then that automatic kind of renewal email in 11 months' time, let's say, if it's an annual subscription, that 11th email is, hey, just going to remind you that your subscription is up for renewal. You don't need to do anything, or you do need to do something. Here's what you need to do. And the instructions can go out 11 months, and they can all be part of this sequence. So sequences can be as long as you want, with as many emails in as you want. You can sit and dictate how many days after they sign up that they receive them. They can go on forever. So that's the most important one, because it obviously starts that know, like, and trust factor, gets a bit of a more information across about you, but also can then just share everything that you've got.
I love that. And I think that's such great advice to the consumer on the other end of this podcast listening of, I've never had a email newsletter before. I want to start one. Actually, now I'm thinking about what value and knowledge I have to kind of wrap up and add into a little guide to give them something. So this will get people's kind of brains ticking, which is great. Yeah. So before I wrap up, what would be your one piece of advice that you would give someone based on all the knowledge you have, Natalie? And this is going to be very hard because you're extremely talented. You've got so much value and knowledge to give. And we could sit here all day over tea and coffee and chat. But what would the one piece of advice be around either email marketing or growing, or anything that you would give to either a new business or potentially a business looking to scale or grow?
I think first and foremost is you don't have to do it all. Okay. Pick what you enjoy, but also look at the return on the investment of time you are putting in. So if you are on socials and spending hours and hours on socials, but getting no sales, nobody signing up to your email list, nothing, then you're not getting any return on the investment of the time that you're spending. I'm an absolute avid fan of email marketing, and everybody should have an email marketing list above everything and anything else. Obviously, we share about that on other social platforms, but yeah, email list for the win. Full
I love
stop.
that. I love that. So basically, go and grow your email marketing list is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you can hold on to them and you've got their information. You're not going to lose them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they
Amazing.
want to hear from you. They've chosen to opt in. They've
Yeah.
chosen to want to hear from you. And if they don't want to hear from you, they unsubscribe. And honestly, do not get hit up about unsubscribers. I know people go, oh, someone unsubscribed.
Yeah. And do you know what? This is what we were going through actually. At the beginning of this particular business, I have like an ebook, 7 Ways to Springboard Your Interior Design Business. And we'd get a couple of unsubscribers and I'd be like, oh my God, no one wants me anymore. What's going on? But actually, I was like, yes, please unsubscribe if you don't want to be here. Because if I go over 5,000, I'm going to go into the next payment bracket, which is absolutely fine. But I don't want people hanging around in the list that don't really want to consume my content. So
Yeah.
I actually now, as a port of call, every month go through a cleanse process where I go through the list and I get everyone off it that is unsubscribed or bounced or whatever. And I think, no,
Yeah.
get off.
Get off.
And, we'll maybe clear 25 or 30 people off the list out of
Yeah.
like 3,000. And I love cleansing the list because obviously when you heard me talk back in June, I was saying with the community as well, it's so important to cleanse the community. And I suppose it's just equally important to do that on your email marketing list because you want a list and a community there that's willing to listen, that's chosen to be there, that wants to hear you speak, wants to eat up all that lovely information you're giving, and ultimately buy from you at some point.
Yeah. The even more important fact is that if you have active people on your email list, so we're not talking unsubscribes or bounced or anything, get rid of those anyway. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if people aren't opening your emails, I recommend every 6 months is to do a filter of people who haven't opened an email in 6 months, especially
That's
if you're
really
doing
good.
regularly, because it affects your email deliverability rate. If people aren't, it just get rid of them. Get rid of them. It's a it's a way of making sure that your deliverability is up. It gives you a better sending value. It's a tech thing. It's a
An
tech
open
thing.
rate.
But yeah, absolutely. If people aren't opening your emails, get rid of them because then your deliverability rate goes up, which is basically thumbs up to your email service providers and to the other, your Google and your Gmail that you're sending to. Sit there and go, oh, she's got a great rate. Everyone opens hers and it's all very good. So yeah, it's important to cleanse your list. Absolutely.
Well, that's something new that I've learned is basically filtering every 6 months. If they haven't opened, let's get rid of them because we all know I love a sin bin over on Instagram. And it's almost like if your name's not down, you're not getting in type thing. So I'm going to go and enjoy this now. I'm going to filter it out. This is great.
It might be scary.
Cleansing.
A lot of them, I would sit there and say, though, you can do it automatically and you can just get rid of them, or you can do what's called a re-engagement sequence, which is almost offer them something of amazing value. So it might be something else that you've got that's a freebie or something they may not have seen and go, last chance to get that really strong subject line, clickbaitable, let me open this email, and give them something for free. And then see, because that might be enough to re-engage some people. Then if they really don't want your free great stuff, off
they're not
they
needed
go.
here.
No, exactly.
Sayonara. See you later type thing.
Exactly. But yeah, I'd always kind of do a re-engagement thing first, just as a last kind of, are you sure there's this great thing here? You sure you don't want it? Because I'm going to, and literally it is, you say that, you say, I'm getting rid of people who haven't opened an email, just wanting to give you this as a kind of last minute, or some people do a click here if you want to stay on this email. So again, they give you one last chance for you may not have opened them, because sometimes it doesn't always see, depending on how they're viewing them, it doesn't always show that they've opened them. So it just gives them an option to kind of opt in before you chuck them out. So different.
Okay. Perfect. Natalie, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Podcast and giving us so much lovely value. And I hope for everyone listening that they've been able, I've certainly, but been able to take so much away from that to implements.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Design Boss Dialogue. If you love what you heard, then please share the podcast with your friends and any women that could do with a dose of empowerment just from me. I would love to hear your thoughts around today's podcast with your key takeaways and wins, because your feedback means everything to me. Also, don't forget to leave a review as well as hit that follow button so you never miss out on any inspiring conversations with me or any other trailblazing women I have on. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes, and remember, unleashing your inner design power and unlocking your true potential is only a click away. See you next time.